Just a side note before we start, I am, well, I guess a little bit sick while recording this, so if my voice sounds weird, that's most likely the reason why. Hopefully you could not get as distracted through that reason, and enjoy the video. Jojo openings are really something to marvel at. For myself, at the very least, it was always a treat to see and hear each new opening as I progressed further within the show. And throughout that, I and many have selected their favorites purely on musical quality alone, and today is going to be no different. Here we're going to rank up the top 5 best openings Jojo has to offer. I'm talking about the openings that you listen to everywhere, on your way to work or school, cooking, exercising. Hell, these top picks are so good, you'd probably pester your neighbor to give him a listen. And, oh yeah, heads up, Chase is not gonna make it on a list because, well, that should be obvious. No one likes Chase.
Chase is the best opening.
Number 5, the 4th opening, and yes, don't make me try to pronounce the title of it. Yeah, I'm sure a lot of my Twitch viewers are quite surprised. When asked, I usually say that this is my favorite one. Why did my opinion change extremely drastically? Well, perhaps it was due to comparing it to other contenders on this list, or maybe I've just over-listened to it too many times. But that certainly doesn't take anything away from this opening whatsoever, and what this opening does great is set up the viewer for possibly one of the most climactic battles within the entire series, and that's probably why I hold such fond memories of it. Overall, a great opening. Number 4, Bloody Stream. Well, if there's one reason I enjoy this opening, it's due to the trippy colors. The overall wild tone greatly reflects the majority of the part and Joseph's personality throughout it. Also, at the end of the day, what's not to like? It's extremely catchy, and I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorite. And the only reason it's at number 4 is because there's so much competition. A lot of these entries are truly close calls. Number 3, Fighting. We have to sample the song for that. We have to. Number 3, Fighting God. All I can say is that it's epic. When listening to this while watching the animation, you're ready to see some crazy gangstar action. I don't know, it just fits extremely well with the part's theme and tone. Also, my apologies if I do sound like a broken record at times. It's just something that I really like to point out because a lot of these openings really nail this factor on the head. In addition, something that I notice a lot from my Twitch viewers who are getting into the show often recommend this song within our song request very frequently, which, I mean, I guess I can't really blame them because I would definitely do the same. Number 2. Yes, we're going back to the original that started it all. At the moment, I've been completely caught up with the entire series, up to chapter 92 of Julianne as of this recording. By the way, it was a really good chapter. Because of this, recently I appreciate this opening a lot more. Sure, you could call it bias. Well, actually, it is bias, but isn't this video topic already something that is quite subjective in the first place? But aside from that, as I mentioned before, this is where it all began, and I think it really captures that essence of what the series is all about. Yeah, exactly. Just a side note, I've seen an awesome fan-made version thrown in for Steel Ball Run, and oh boy, it is very fire stuff. I'll probably link it down below if you want to watch it for yourself. Number 1, Crazy, Noisy, Bizarre Town. To be honest, it's probably the weirdest opening out of the entire series. It's really off-putting compared to the others. But then again, I mean, this is called JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, so I guess it does fit, ironically speaking. But yeah, the first time I actually listened to this, or obviously saw the opening, it kind of threw me off a bit because at this point, after part 3, the show really does take a kind of a wild direction, a departure from sort of the formula what part 3 and even before established. Definitely a much different tone than before. How was my reaction to all this when I first watched part 4? Well, for starters, the song is extremely awesome, but it kind of threw me off a bit. I thought the show was really going to go downhill, but towards the end of part 4, that definitely did change. And once I did finish Diamond is Unbreakable, I realized from that point that this song, or I guess opening, symbolizes that JoJo can really be about anything and work very well. From that point onward, we got stories about cowboys, gangsters, and then, you know, most recently Part 8, some guy who lost his identity and wears Converse shoes. Yeah, no one really knows what's going on with Part 8 at the moment. Aside from that, to wrap things up, this opening, in my opinion, really did evolve the series. I mean, I guess it was already written at that time, but I guess it stands as a symbolic representation of this evolution. Also, I mean, the best JoJo pose is done by Koichi. I mean, that just steals the show right there, people. Well, I think that about wraps up everything. But you know what? I have one really cool surprise. A song that is from JoJo that didn't really make the cut because it's not really an opening, but you know what? We'll play it on my NES fax machine that also can play some music. Yeah, look at those sick tunes.
Oh, I'm sorry, Dan. I'll fix that immediately. This isn't an official JoJo OP.
Wait, what? No, the music's fine. Did you just seriously put on Chase? He just put on Chase. That is the one big no-no of this entire video. No.